Wake up, get high, all day through the night, prepare to take flight through the sky. Start your day right. Wake up, get high, all day through the night, prepare to take flight through the sky.
Top of the Wake and Bake, you already know what it is. It's your boy Fax, host of the Wake and Bake Show, baby, doing what we do best. Today is an honor. You know, I have one of the staples in the culture today. Big shout outs to Ronit Pinto, you know, one of the 10 most successful women entrepreneurs of 2021 was awarded, you know, Miss Ronit Pinto, CEO, co-founder of Honeysuckle Magazine. It is an honor and pleasure to have you here, Ronit.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Getting into the conversation, you know, normally I do an analysis on all my guests. So we're going to run that before we get into Honeysuckle and how you got started. So, you know, I ask everybody, you know, one of the first things I ask is at what age you started smoking?
Well, the first time I smoked ever, I was 11.
Just tilt the mic up.
Oh, like that? Is that better?
Let me see.
Or just closer?
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna keep dropping. Okay, cool. Is that better?
All right, yeah, put your volume up now. There we
Okay.
go.
The first time I smoked, I was 11 in Texas. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I started around 12, so we started almost around the same age. That's cool. What was one of the first strains you smoked, if you can remember?
I mean, no clue. Like in Texas and my friends, like in high school, everyone was Mexican actually. So.
Okay.
They probably got it from Mexico,
Okay.
but I don't know. I think they call it like dirt weed.
Reggie's. We call it
Yeah.
Reggie, regular weed back then. We didn't have exotics actually around that time. So
Yeah, we didn't. No one talked about strains. It was just like weed.
okay, so what was your preference? Papers, blunts?
Yeah, at the time, like we were doing like bong rips. Yeah, joints. I never smoked a lot of blunts. Maybe like some pipes, like hippie, the glass little like Grateful Dead pipes.
Oh, wow. What was your first experience like?
Well, my first experience, I don't think I got high. Like, I don't know if anyone does. So my friend Julie and I, we like got some out of my dad's stash. They were out. They left me home alone, and we like got some from his bedroom drawer. And she rolled a joint, but she was 12 and I was 11. So I don't even know if she knew what she was doing. We were like so cool on my balcony, and then, but nothing happened.
All right, so what was your first true experience high? What was that like?
So that was in 8th grade, and it was like, I think it was probably like the third time, I tried it, like second or third time, and it's funny, I remember it. I was at my friend's house because we'd already experimented with drinking too. This was like suburban Texas, so like
Okay.
all that happened very early on. I was like, this is so much better than alcohol. I just like, I don't know, I liked it, and it mellowed, I liked it. Just kind of like the psychoactive effects of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's awesome. That's good to hear. So you had a good experience when you did get high the first time. What was it like your first time getting caught? Which relative caught you?
Yeah, right. My dad caught me when I think that was the first. I had already been getting in trouble for other stuff, so like. By the time he caught me with weed, I was 17, and my friend had a cigarette case of joints.
Okay.
And I don't know why he got mad at me, because he always had weed, and weed is not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, it's just not. So my friend, he smelled it. I guess we were smoking it. And we were in high school, and she was visiting me from Michigan, and he saw that she had like a cigarette case full of joints instead of cigarettes. He like opened it up, and he got really pissed, and that was like a whole big deal. And I'll never forget, he was like, "Why are you doing this?" or something, and I was just like, "It makes me feel mellow." And he got like really mad when I said that.
Well, at least it wasn't that bad experience. You got caught when you were 17.
Yeah.
So you was a year away from being 18.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that
No,
bad.
I was tripping.
What was your weirdest experience high?
So, actually, in high school, I had some pretty bad times, like to where I stopped smoking. Like, I think I was just smoking too much, overconsumption. Like, every day after school or even skipping school, we'd go and like smoke tons of weed. And like, I'm a littler person. It's just not. And I was with a bunch of guys, you know, a few girls, and like they're just heavy smokers. And they it started to make me anxious and like too thinking, too analytical. And it just got like bad to where I was getting like negative thoughts, negative thinking, you know, and so I kind of just like chilled out after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What was it like, right? What was one of your favorite, like, once you realized, like, you know, we started seeing strains, like, what was one of your favorite strains coming up? When we, like, let's say we got hydro, we got some super skunk and stuff like that started appearing. What was one of your favorite strains?
Yeah, everyone used to talk about that stuff. Funny enough, I never really got into strains until more recently, like
Okay.
writing about it and getting educated and learning about it. So, like, a pivotal moment actually was when we smoked some Champelli weed.
Oh, shout out to Pelly.
Yeah. We were like at the Astor Club, and I'm like a micro consumer now.
Okay.
I just do it here and there. I do it more for wellness, and like I use it specifically for certain things. And we were sitting at the Astro Club, Sam and I and Leo Bridgewater, and we like I didn't even know Champelli. I think maybe I'd heard about him once, and then I was like, oh my god, this is like, I felt really happy. And Leo, like, he was like, the pain in my knees went away. Like, everyone was just, so that's definitely one of my favorites. And I know like Blue Zoo, she's a favorite.
Shouts to Stacks.
Yeah.
The crew. Blue Zoo, she's definitely making a name. Shouts to Champelli. Champelli's been doing it since the 90s, early 90s. In fact, Champelli surprised me when I seen him with Snoop and Little Kim in the studio back in the days.
Wow.
That's when I knew, you know, he was like major in the game. So seeing his name come in, I was bugging out. And it's cool that you said you love his weed too, because he do be putting out some good stuff. He's been serving everybody since back then, and to this day, he still got some good stuff. So that's a good thing. I'm glad you got to try. He's actually my next guest. So that's dope. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I saw it when he was here. You guys posted some stuff. He was in our last 2 issues. So after I smoked his weed, because I'm such like a particular consumer, I was like, I really want to. Who is this person? You know what I mean? And we became we're friends, and like we interviewed him, an extensive interview, and then he interviewed Fidel in our last issue.
Nice.
That was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because like, who's gonna make such special, you know, weed? You want to know who these people are that put it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I love that, you know, like I said, I love what you guys do, how you follow up on that, and you like, wait a second, you Champelli? And then reading the article was awesome what you guys did. You know, shouts to Champelli, shouts to you guys. That was dope. Getting into the Honeysuckle Magazine, when did you start Honeysuckle?
So I technically started it at the end of 2014 online, and then printed the first one, or maybe it was like the end of 2013, just like here and there, little blog posts, and then I printed the first one in 2015.
Okay. So since 2013, the cannabis wasn't legal yet. So, wow, you guys have been working diligently with Honeysuckle even before the cannabis industry was legal. So what was that like? You were dealing with like musicians, art, like explain, like give me a little brief rundown on Honeysuckle in the beginning before the legalization of cannabis.
Yeah. Well, the first ones were like, I have a background in journalism and film, and I just had like a series of different life events that kind of led me to like do my own thing and merge them in ways that I saw fit and wanted to. So like the first magazines like are here. So we did like counterculture topics, but there wasn't really cannabis, but we talked about like heroin and like sex subject matters and like fringe topics. And then in 2017, 2017 we met like Ronnie DeSoto, Leo Bridgewater, like a lot. Yeah, like a lot of people who ended up forming like the New Jersey Cannabis Commission, the people who were like the core of New York, New Jersey cannabis. So like there was a handful of them, you know, like Jake Plowden, Kim B, Leo, Ronnie, and what we did was we had them all in like our living room in our apartment, and they were just schooling us on like the war on drugs, stop and frisk, the racist elements of the plant, and like the history that you just probably would know unless you dug into it or were a victim of it. And so that formed our narrative in 2017. And then, yeah, we went hard with it just because it's a huge topic, and it also intersects. So it's like a lens for all the things we were talking about before. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like politics, race, social issues, wellness, like basically anything that's happening in America today. Like you can look through the lens of cannabis. It's like a microcosm.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So who was your first guest when it came? I know you said you named those guys, but when it comes to an artist, like musician, because I see you work with the music industry as well.
Yeah.
Who's one of the first artists you worked with on Honeysuckle?
I think for the cover, the first musician artist was Lil Wayne.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
How did that come about? How did that come about?
So I'm an entrepreneur. So, and I don't have like resources. Like I don't have, so I'm thinking of like ways to, shit to do.
Improvise.
Exactly. So like with Lil Wayne, I actually got like a press release from Jakua, his cannabis brand. And I was like, well, can this be a cover? Because we have a print magazine. So
do you have one? Do you have the mag there?
it's on its way,
Okay,
actually. Cool. Yeah, that one's on. It's a really beautiful issue too. So, we ended up working with them, and first they were like, no, because they didn't know who we were.
Okay.
But I kept pushing it, and then eventually we put them on NASDAQ too. I had the billboard slot, so I was able to yeah, it was really cool. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
came out pretty strong on that one. But we got close with like his team from Jakua and his creative director. So it was like they provided us with the photography, but we did get an interview with him, and yeah, we did a beautiful spread. It was really cool.
I love that. You push. You see, you got to push forward.
Yeah.
You got to improvise. Even when you don't have, the resources, as long as you push, you're going to find a way. So you never can say you can't do it until you try it and really push forward. That's the key. I love that, Ronit. Thank you very much. Who was another artist that you worked with in the cannabis industry besides Lil Wayne?
So we worked with quite a few, but Whiz Khalifa.
That's huge.
What
year was that?
That was like 2021.
Nice. Right after as soon as I'm pretty sure that was the legalization, right? 2021?
Yeah, I mean, it was legalization. Oh, this is a cool story, actually. So we actually were able to shoot Whiz Khalifa.
Nice.
That's this one. So Sam shot this, and we did a spread with him, and it's the thing too.
Big shouts to Sam.
Yeah, Sam's our creative director, so he shot that cool spread, and it was one of those things where we'd been talking to them too for 6 months, and they're like, okay, come tomorrow. We're like, fuck. So
wow, that's how it be too. That's so crazy that you say that. It's blink.
Yeah.
They'll be like, show up. You got to be prepared. You got to be ready to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
It was so, yeah, but to your point, these things are usually 6 months to 9 in the making. And then that at any minute you just have to have the money to go somehow, and then you got to do it. So, funny enough, Sam was super nervous because it was our first big shoot. But we were close with DJ, the Khalifa Kush CEO, so he kind of walked us through it.
Cool.
We got a dope location, and then he's like, here's what's gonna happen. DJ's like, you're gonna wait for 7 hours. She's gonna show up, and you're gonna shoot for 45 minutes. And that's what happened. He came, and but what was really amazing about that experience that I didn't even know was gonna happen was Felipe from Compound Genetics.
Wow.
Showed up. My first shout out, Felipe and Lauren. But we witnessed, he brought him his first legal bag of Khalifa Kush ever. Huge bag of weed, because they were just able to legally grow it in California. So Wiz has been growing it and doing it, but it was the first legal one. So we got it on camera, and that was a really cool shoot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shouts to the whole gang. Shouts to Wiz. Shouts to everybody. Shouts to the whole Honeysuckle. Besides Wiz, I see you recently worked with Erykah Badu.
Yeah.
That was amazing. What was that like?
That was so, I mean, I get intimidated, to be honest, around celebrities, because personally, I just don't know I don't know what, you know what I mean? I don't know like what they want, what they don't want. I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to talk too little. So it's like, I'm just finally figuring out like my own comfort zone. So Sam's really good. So like I was comfortable there. We went to her Maywood drop because like they said we could shoot her there. Like we weren't able to like do a whole day or something like that. Cause a lot of these people do need day rates and they have very high day rates,
Oh, yes.
you know?
I know what that's like.
Yeah. So if we can't pay a day rate, then you like gotta improvise. So anyways, they let us go to Maywood. So we went there, scoped it out, and then got some pretty cool shots.
Yeah.
And we interviewed her over the phone with Carla, her PR person who like worked with Miles Davis back in the day.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's Dave Chappelle's PR person too. And we did an interview and then we went and saw her after at the one in Oakland, the cookies. Forgot which one it's called, and got pictures of her with a magazine.
Did you get to try her strain?
I haven't tried it yet.
I haven't either.
Cut
So
that part out.
we're gonna have to go try it together and give a review on it.
We're usually too busy when we're there. You know
That's
what I
true,
mean?
that's
Like
true.
making sure.
Trying to make sure we capture everything we need to capture.
Yeah. No time to smoke weed.
All right, cool. So what was like one of your biggest obstacles creating Honeysuckle?
Yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of obstacles, like for real. I mean, to the point where to me, this is like a history. Like this issue, for example, was my third one, right? Noir. It was like this cool comic. And in the middle of it, the editor, like the person I was working with just pieced out. You know, he's like, and like I was like sat there, I was working in film at the time, and I remember my like heart, I got like my heart sunk, and I was like, then I was like, you know, what am I gonna finish it or not? So I just finished it by myself or figured it out. And then after that one, we actually scaled. Like this was our fourth issue, which was like a big difference, like a really cool one. And this one too, like I met these people who used to work at the Village Voice, right? And they're like, we're gonna do this and we're that, and I'm the publisher and she's the editor. And I was like, cool, you know, we're gonna do all this. Sure enough, like 2 months down the road, they didn't do jack shit. And again, I like had a friend help me put it out, and that kind of put us on the map, to be honest, a little bit more. So things like that, you know, certainly some financial issues. But I don't know. I think you just have to keep moving forward.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
And I like how you say about the financials. People think that everything is free. We have to work and invest in our own. Like, you know, that's how we move forward with the business. You know, it's a sacrifice we all take, you know, and definitely. Okay, so I also noticed you guys recently did something with the THC NYC.
Yeah.
And you guys had if I'm not mistaken, A Boogie there as well.
Yeah.
Man, you guys were one of the first people to kill it in THC NYC. What was that like? I didn't get a chance to make it 'cause I was out of town. But I seen you guys kill it. You had like I said, A Boogie,
Yeah.
and a couple other surprise guests. How did that even like, you know, how did you even like did you put that together? Because it was just open. So I feel like you premeditated that. Like it was like a week open and you was just like, bah, hold on, I'm here, Honeysuckle in the building. You heard? Make sure y'all know what's up.
Right? Boom. No. Like that was like we'd met them a month before and like they were just getting their shit together, you know what I mean? So we were like in and out of their flow, and then they were gonna do a block party, a whole block party on Soho. And then so we got sponsors for that. We were like integrating our community, so we did get enough money to sort of help them put it on, you know, to like support some of it. And then they got A Boogie, they booked him because they work with Dream Hospitality, which has like Harbor and all these different clubs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but that turned out it was fun. I had so much fun. I mean, on the same day, 420, we had a billboard campaign in Times Square with Cannabis Now. We were all over doing like, you know, Washington Square Park and Ganja Pigs. We had this whole video production for the day, but the A Boogie thing was dope. It was packed.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. We're talking to them about doing some other stuff too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's in the works? What's upcoming for Honeysuckle?
Well, we've got quite a bit upcoming. We're gonna do September issue, so like September fashion. So we're working on different cover options for that. We're doing some web series like focusing on women in the industry.
Love it.
So yeah, it's gonna be real creative, like a lot different. I think not than you'd normally see because Sam and I actually are both filmmakers. So like some of the visions coming for that are more like filmic. So I'm a little nervous because I think it'll be different, and I haven't put myself out there in that way, but we'll see how that goes. And then just scaling the idea, we have some more merchandise ideas, and we're, talking about even putting out like a strain, like a honeysuckle,
Dope.
right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do it. Yes, please. I'll be pleasure to review it with a guest here. Excuse me. Sorry. Another question I have. So I see. Knock that out. Hold on. Okay. So, what year? How many issues do you have in total?
I think that was our 16th
16, right?
Erica. Or 7. Erica might have been our 17th.
17.
Yeah.
And then 17 issue. My fault.
What?
Brain fart. Caught a brain fart.
I don't even know. It was 16 or 17. Yeah, I have to like.
No, it was me. It was me. I caught a brain fart. But we have
should stay
16.
So we're on our 17th.
16.
Yeah.
All right, so we're on the 16th issue. Going on the 17th issue,
Yeah.
right? Okay, cool. I see you just went to Japan.
Yeah.
All right. What's their culture like over there when it comes to the cannabis industry?
Yeah. It was really interesting. Like, it's very illicit,
Okay.
and like they're much more obedient than Americans. Like we met this woman, and this Japanese woman, and she got out her cell phone, and she was like, "Is this real or a joke?" And she showed us the January 6th insurrection where like they mobbed the Capitol, in DC.
Yeah. Okay.
She thought it was a joke. And she was like, "Does everyone know this happened in America?" And we're like, "Yeah." A lot of people think it was like okay. And so they're like much more of an obedient culture. And so when it comes to cannabis, it's very illegal.
Okay.
Apparently they're researching it for medical purposes.
Nice.
But we ended up meeting some of them, and they're like dying to express themselves and like talk about it. You know what I mean? But like the photos we got, they were like masked.
Mm-hmm.
We were told like we didn't have enough time there, but like as we were leaving, people like go here, go there. So it's like super underground. But we did interview a couple people that will be posting that are more like on the CBD side. But of
Okay.
course they have I was surprised how many people started DMing us like in that whole international thing of people who just like want freedom, want to like be free with it, and they can't. So it's interesting.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting there, and that's the beauty. I just came from Barcelona, and I've witnessed their culture as well. It's flourishing so fast.
Wow.
It's growing so fast, almost similar to ours
Really?
here. Yes, and the lounges and stuff like that definitely left me with my mind like, wow, I didn't think you guys were moving, kind of as fast as we are. But their rules are a little different over there as well.
I heard, did people get robbed there? I heard people getting
Oh,
robbed.
you gotta be careful. They pickpocket really well out there.
Oh,
From
okay.
what all the people told me as a guest, they like be careful. Always keep your bag in the front because there's a lot of good pickpocketers out here. So I was like, oh, okay. I mean, only thing they're gonna pickpocket is my weed, if anything, because that's all I got on me,
Yeah. I heard the lounges there were like next level.
Next level.
Oh, okay.
Next level. Shout outs to the HQ. They showed me love. It's definitely a place you would enjoy, and definitely talk to David. He's one of the owners of HQ, as well as Lorenzo from Terps Army.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty solid. So you haven't been to Barcelona yet then, right?
I haven't. You were there for Spanibus?
No, actually I went a little after to do an interview with founder of HQ, which is David. He allowed me to interview him and they're gonna be working on doing the Master of Rosins here in New York.
Oh, sweet.
So he leaked that out on one of the interviews I did with him.
Nice. You got the exclusive.
Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, so definitely let's go on to, you didn't go to
I
Boston?
haven't been to Barcelona. I've been to Madrid. My last name's Pinto, so like my family's Moroccan Spanish, but for some reason I haven't really been around Spain yet, but definitely want to go to
Oh,
Barcelona.
wow, that's what's up. You Moroccan and Italian?
No, my grandmother, Algerian, Moroccan,
Okay.
Spanish on my dad's side, Portuguese, Israeli, and then yeah.
That's beautiful. I'm Haitian and Ecuadorian.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's
Cool.
cool.
All right, cool. So, another question I have for you. How do you feel about the industry right here in New York City and the way it's moving forward?
I mean, I like it. I think it's cool. I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it, right? Like, well, for one thing, I know in California the MSOs are falling, right? Like a bunch of them
Mhm.
fell. So like I know some of the other brands, like we were just at Liddy in the City, and they told me, you know, so like Josh Schmidt from Natura or
Nice, yes.
Detox, yeah, they were all really excited because they said there's like this renaissance of brands that are able to like flourish again because the MSOs are like failing there essentially. So I do wonder here because I know like they're supposed to let the MSOs start operating in December now, right?
That's what they lining up for. Hopefully they don't, you know how it goes. Sometimes they push it back
Yeah.
and we have to wait. But hopefully December is the right?
Well, I mean, they were supposed to have 2 more years. Like the card licensees and like the mom and pops were supposed to have 2 years to like get more of a market share.
Okay.
And now the MSOs were coming. So I don't really know how that's going to shake out. I think from a consumer point of view, I love it. Like I like seeing the like Gen Zers, more women, you know, like Gotham just opened and like these new demographics open up, the queer community. So for New York, I mean, come on, like it's gonna be cool to just see everyone like more in plant medicine. It's healthier than alcohol, you know.
You see the sales on alcohol is going down. It's
Yeah.
it's being proven. It's cannabis is actually winning right now all
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah, for sure. Like we work with a lot of young interns like in their 20s from the universities, and they are all smoking weed, microdosing on mushrooms, and like it's just so much better than like binge drinking. You know what I mean?
It's healthier too.
Yeah.
Big time, you know. I'm glad you seen it that way, Ronit. Another question I have for you is, how do you feel about the strains in particular here in New York? Like the weed you've tried so far. Have you tried any cultivars from New York? Any of their stuff?
Sam's more the tester,
Okay.
but I mean, we're in with like, you know, Blotter and Flower House
Okay.
and Florist Farms, like Flamer. I just met, so I'm like meeting a lot of them. I've tried some of them. What about you? Any stick out in particular?
Well, you got me earlier. You named a few that I like Zushi and these guys that's coming up.
But they're not in New York, right?
Well, actually, I do have a New York grower here. All right, so I like what we were talking about earlier. I see you mentioned something about the way you smoke. You said that you was like a casual smoker. I'm glad you referred to that, so people can understand. You know, there's different categories of smokers. You know, me, I consider myself a connoisseur. You know, I smoke a lot on a daily basis. I smoke every day. I can't work without smoking. You know, so before I even did this podcast, I had to smoke a spliff. You know, sometimes I smoke in the middle of doing the podcast. But I'm glad you mentioned that because I feel like the culture needs to be aware of the different consumers, you know, and that's a beautiful thing, that you said that, you know, you're a casual smoker. So you smoke periodically, like, or on occasion, or when you feel like back pains and stuff like that. How do you consume?
I mean, for me personally, I would say I consider myself a micro consumer, like very much here and there, and only when it's like really high quality stuff that I'm around,
Okay.
you know, like being around people like from the Emerald Cup where I know it's like really good weed, because I do have to be careful. Like it's psychologically bad weed. I don't like the way it makes me feel. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
it's just not worth it.
Some is too strong.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think overall, like what we're seeing and what I see is like, even like Sam, like some people, they smoke for wellness. So like it is a replacement for pharmaceuticals. So like I don't have bipolar or mood disorder or anything like that. But people who do cannabis in small amounts, like micro consumption or microdosing shrooms or cannabis is helpful. You know what I mean? People take antidepressants, sleep medication, all that shit. Like doing cannabis throughout the day. So like I met someone the other day who has a new brand, and he smokes when he wakes up, but he just takes like little puffs throughout the day to just kind of like even them out. And I think like society is imbalanced. You know what I mean? We're constantly confronted by things that are like not natural or good. So having that ability to like even yourself out with plant medicine is cool. You know, I know like another editor that I know from a different magazine she microdosed mushrooms through like Oxford Ivy League.
Wow,
Yeah. And she just,
actually, that's research, basically.
well, she said that it just gave her this clarity,
Mm.
you know, to help her do her studies. For me personally, I'm more, I don't know. For me, it's just depends. Like when I smoke, I like to be outside. I don't want to have to concentrate on stuff. So like I want to like be within nature. It's like a different thing. But a lot of people, they need it for like mood stabilization, wellness, you know, like you said, sore muscles, inflammation for sure. So yeah, I think, you know, it's just great. And like a lot of, like I said, the Gen Zers or like young kids that we work with also, they're using it in small amounts but kind of regularly. So it's just like it's super healthy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
But the big smokers, yeah. Like where do you think that came from? Like what's that?
What, the connoisseurs and
Yeah,
stuff?
like all day, like where you basically have to, right?
It's like I would say it's like a pleasure. You know how cigar smokers love to have their cigar towards the end of the day, you know, enjoy themselves, watch a game, ease out. For me, it's more of it levels me out, you know, and it helps me focus in. Although people might not think, nah, my tolerance is so high that when I do smoke, it just balances things out. I don't feel the anxiety to rush. You know, I take my time, but I plan accordingly. I like that. When I'm not high, it's like I'm moving a little too fast.
Okay.
You know, so I like that. It basically levels me out and gives me like a clearer thought process, if that makes sense. But that's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's different. You know, some people might smoke what I smoke and they'll be like, dog, I can't. This is crazy. I've had friends that fall asleep on me after smoking some of the stuff I smoke, you know? And then there's some that ride it out with me and enjoy it as well. But for me, it's more of a pleasurable thing and as well as a leveling me out.
Yeah.
You know, keeping a balance between my day. It definitely helps me balance things out.
That's cool. I mean, it slows me down too, chills me out, but sometimes like I don't know if I can't be that way. I'm like, fuck, I need to be like doing a lot more. So I gotta be careful.
Well, the thing is with me as a kid, I started at 12, so I was hyper. So weed definitely helped me out a lot.
Okay.
It definitely calmed me down. It got me through school and on everything.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was smoking since 12, kind of like you, started early.
Yeah.
But I started smoking heavy
Then
once I figured it out. Yeah.
oh, because it was like medicinal
Yes, for me it was.
for ADHD or something like
Yeah,
that.
when I was younger, I was like, I had to stay on the move. I was very like fidgety and jumpy. Once I found weed, it was over. I'll smoke my weed and I'll just be chilling there like, you know, everybody's like, yo, you good, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Chilling, you know? But at 12, I had to be playing sports all the time. So I had to be doing things in order to I was very active.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for me to like calm down, like take it easy, I'll smoke a J. And it was funny because I actually play sports on weed too. And I feel like sometimes I'll play better on weed, no lie. Yeah, for real.
Huh. How so?
I felt like I would be floating. Like when I played basketball, you know, I felt like when I do smoke weed, it's funny to say this shit, but I felt kind of sometimes after I smoke and I chill and I play ball, it's like I'm kind of like in the Matrix zone. Like,
Oh,
you know, it's weird, but
you probably were.
it's the high, you know. So what do you like to do when you do get high? Do you do like recreational things? What do you prefer on doing? Do you draw? Do you like art? I know you're a writer, but besides writing,
Yeah.
what do you like to do when you do get high? What are some of your preferences, some of the things you like to do when you do get high?
Well, I do like I like to play piano and I do draw and stuff. Not necessarily even just when I'm high, but like in my free time as hobbies. When I'm high, I like to think, you know, just kind of be in a quiet place where I can think and be quiet. I like to be outside. Like I like trees. I live near Central Park, so I can walk over there. I don't want to have to do anything.
You just want to enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Let it take its course.
Yeah.
Because I feel like once we start medicating, it's like, you know, you feel it, you know, what it does to the body, like you said. Just want to relax and actually feel the medicinal, you know, the medicinal attributes behind the weed, you know.
Yeah.
So like you say, you like to concentrate. Some people meditate, you know. I've seen a lot of people now do yoga on weed, you know, so that's cool. You
Yeah.
like to take long walks and be in a quiet environment when you do smoke. That's cool. Okay, so we got your favorite strains already. And
Well, that's one of the reasons I like Japan too, because like
how was their weed? It was good?
we couldn't smoke it.
No?
They didn't have. I mean, you can only do CBD,
Uh,
and they told us to go to this one place, but I left, and you have to like DM this dude. It was like hard to find. Yeah, it's very
Too much.
illegal. We probably would have done it for there longer, but like their culture, like they have all these like rules for quietness, because this is what I read and was told, like they don't want to interfere with nature.
Okay.
So when you go there, you hear like crows and stuff. It's like kind of being high, honestly. Like without the weed, they don't want to interfere with nature in their like philosophy, and also they don't want to interfere with each other because they're like piled on top of each other. It's really a lot of people there.
That's true.
So there's this like quiet there all the time. I forgot why, because we were just talking about quiet, but it's like constantly quiet, even though there's like 38 million people.
Wow.
Yeah. But you wouldn't know because it's like way quieter than here.
And like you said in the beginning, people are more of they have like a value of respect towards everybody. So that's amazing. Wow, 38 million people.
Yeah, in Tokyo. Yeah, it's huge.
All right, cool. We're gonna do this. This is the first time I'm gonna allow a couple of guests that's in the audience to ask a few questions.
Okay.
So we're gonna take it from here. We're gonna allow a couple people. This is new. Adding it to the podcast now, where we're gonna have a couple of guests sit in on the show and also, you know, ask a few questions on something that they might have some kind of interest of, or, you know, wanting to know about your career and how far, you know, you've gotten. So we're gonna allow a few guests to ask a few questions. We got to Bluetooth that to connect her so she can hear her, or if she asks her the question, I could Bluetooth that onto this, the microphone. Yeah, this has a Bluetooth. Oh, you'll add it? Okay, so just take one ear off, Ronit, so you can hear her question real quick.
Okay.
You're gonna have to speak up so she can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you just hold the mic because he's getting it on the camera, so he'll blend it in with her answer on the microphone.
All right, so I'll start with normal questions. Okay. So so the magazine is very in a creative kind of like space, you know. How do you feel cannabis influences your creativity, or does it block it, or where do you like, you know, when do you ever feel a blockage of creativity for your magazine? And if you do, how do you kind of like get over it, or how do you like get over that obstacle?
Do I have to wear these when I'm answering or no?
Yeah, you could if you want to.
Oh.
Just speak into the mic.
Okay, you can hear me though.
Yeah, I
right?
can hear you.
I don't. I'm super. I don't know if you call it. I'm like like a constant flowing stream of like ideas. So I don't have blocks actually. Like I'm the opposite. I have like a lot of ideas, and they happen real fast for me. So, yeah. So I have like a whiteboard. I write them down, and then I have like Sam and Jamie who I work with who are really smart, and they can help execute stuff. So like we put out a lot of work because like my mind's working like a million miles a minute, and then like they're like superpower like humans. So I wouldn't say I have blocks. And I honestly, even despite not having like an investor or like, you know, a bunch of behind the scenes like resources, we haven't really not been able to do anything. That would piss me off.
That's what I
I'm
love
like,
about y'all.
yeah.
Your resilience, like, and determination to do things, even without the backup. You still earlier expressed, like, we made things happen. Whether we had it or not, we found a way to make it happen. We improvise. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, like, so the truth is, like, before COVID, I did get myself into some, like, debt, right? Like, pretty, like, serious debt, because it was a hard time. Like, I had people who didn't believe in what I was doing, told me I was crazy, told me I was delusional, you know what I mean? So I had to do a bunch of shit, like, by myself or with, like, one other person, like, carrying magazines to the post office in the snow, just doing all kinds of stuff. And I did what I had to do, and I had debt, but then, like, COVID and we got grants. I got grants like entrepreneur for resiliency through COVID, female grants. Like, they had all the like incentives, so I was able to honestly pay off most of my debt during COVID. And then he started working with me during COVID, and that really helped because Sam had to stop working. And that's just like kind of a commentary on capitalism. How has people like so brainwashed that like you have to do things this way, you can't try the things that way, and you can't this and you can't that, to where when that happened, a lot of people started to see like a refresh of like paradigm of life. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I don't have to slave away at a job that I hate forever, or maybe I can try this. So that was like kind of revolutionary.
Did you have a stable job before the magazine? Before you went like fully entrepreneur?
So, it's funny. I don't even know if I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I have those tendencies, but it's like, I would never want to start businesses just to start them. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm more of a visionary, like, and a creative. That's important to me. And like, I want to see that in the world. So I will sacrifice and like put myself out there to make sure like I can see more of that out there. But, I had different jobs. I had a job in the film industry, actually. So I was a union like set dresser, and I did like special effects. Like, I learned how to weld and do like pyro and shit. Yeah. So
That's fucking cool.
that was
Jack of all trades, man.
yeah. So that paid well because you make like 600, like $900 a day, which isn't bad. So that's how I was able to like start Honeysuckle, and then eventually I took that leap like a lot of people do, and I was like, fuck it.
Okay. So we speak a lot about the freedom of being able to consume cannabis, and we've traveled a lot. We've seen different type of like scenarios where people don't have the freedom to actually smoke, or don't have lounges, or might just be scared to smoke, the anxiety of smoking, like, in front of other people, because they are already wired with the assumption that, cannabis might be like illegal or a drug, or that it's not good for them. What does freedom mean to you in the cannabis world?
In the cannabis world, I mean, freedom is the underlying like theme of what I do. So cannabis is a part of that for a lot of people. So freedom of cannabis is sad, right? It's actually really tragic, obviously, because like for whatever reason, different reasons it's being restricted from people, but we know it can ease anxiety. I mean, basically they're restricting it probably to continue to make the pharmaceutical companies money, and like a lot of toxic behavior perpetuating like our industrial prison complex, or like the war machine. I mean, we're still spending. So like, I think freedom to consume and legalize and use it would be like a probably breaking free and like barrier releasing for a lot of like systemic issues we have in place that include like, over policing or racism, and like a lot of things that can be dismantled. Cannabis is being used maybe still to perpetuate that, like by not making it legal.
Right, the politics of that.
Yeah.
94% of marijuana arrests, is it was people of color back then. So seeing the way it's progressed, and the way they legalized it, and now pushing to, get the prisoners out, is big, because there's still a lot of people locked up for it now, and that's the key for me, is freeing those people, because we enjoy ourselves freely right now, smoking the plant and enjoying, but there's still some people incarcerated for it.
Yeah.
So,
like a lot of people.
A lot of people still.
Yeah. And someone was saying like, like they made the comment that I'm not black. I mean, I'm not Anglo-American, and like we cover a lot of like Black people in the magazine. But it's like, of course we do. You know what I'm saying? First of all, we're in New York in cannabis, and like who are we going to talk about if not people who were victimized by like the war on drugs and
I love that.
the culture and things like that?
Sure. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Like, it's dope. You know, you guys are filling in, you know, parts of information that people are looking for with Honeysuckle. You know, you guys are very informative with what you guys are putting out. You know, I didn't know a lot about some people you guys interview until I read your magazine.
Oh, really?
You know, so I love that about you guys, you know what I'm saying? And y'all just got to keep doing what y'all doing.
Thank you.
Please don't stop, man. Keep it going.
Okay.
For real. Talking about pharma, I heard you talking about pharma, and I feel like they need to push forward with cannabis for the simple reason. I just interviewed King Fights Cancer's dad,
Oh, yeah.
and we were discussing a bill that's sitting up in order for them to do research with children. You know, and what kills me is, you know, we allow, you know, all these opioids to give to the kids, and it's true what he was saying. How is it that we can, you know, cannabis is legal now. Why is it that they can't sign this bill to push it forward for children to actually consume, and we could do the research for medicinal use for children? You know, how is it that they passed a bill for opioids but not cannabis? And it's been proven that cannabis even help people with Alzheimer's, people, you know, who can't stay still. You know, it's been proven that it's helpful.
Yeah.
So we were just discussing, hopefully, that, you know, this bill could be passed because it's been sitting up there for a few years. So hopefully that gets pushed, and then we'll see where cannabis really is gonna go. You know, when it comes to medicinal and people taking it on medicinally, especially for the children research with cancer, that'd be awesome. You know, shout outs to King Fights Cancer, shout outs to King, strong kid. You know, he was diagnosed early, but he got 3 more years, and in 3 more years, if he stays cancer free, he's gonna be one of the first people to actually. His dad, you know, this the research they doing. You know, he's clear of cancer since he started doing the oil. So it takes 8 years for them to. He was explaining to me on the show, for them to pass that. You know, he's clear of cancer for sure. So he's already on his 4th year, if I'm not mistaken, going on his 5th. So he need like 3 more years, and they want to make him the prime example of the using cannabis oils. You know, and we broke it down that he doesn't smoke it. You know, a lot of people ask dumb questions to his dad, you know, like, oh, how do you give it to you? You know, it's cannabis oil, you know, he ingests it, you know, under the tongue, and he swallows, you know, and that's just the biggest thing for me, is seeing that get pushed forward, you know, and I think once that happens, I think it's going to change, you know, the culture overall globally. You know, because it's moving globally right now. As far as, you know, you went to Japan and you gave me some information on how things are going out there. I went to Barcelona and I seen how it's moving. It's a global growth. So once I feel like they open it in the medical world, it's going to change a lot. And, you know, pharma might take a hit, but, you know, the humanity is going to be better than what it is with these prosthetic drugs. You know, cannabis is all natural. So hopefully, what's your input? How do you feel about that situation?
I mean, I don't want to sound like some hippy dippy, but I feel like which I'm not, but the pharmaceutical industry is evil in so many
ways.
Yeah, like Rush Limbaugh, didn't he like die of what was he pushing for? He was pushing for one of the opioids, and then he like died, overdosed from it. I mean, you don't have to look far to find out that, like, ask a heroin addict what's the one thing that helped them stay off heroin. It's not all the pills that they try to give them, it's cannabis.
Cannabis, I love that.
Yeah, just ask people, you know, or like a veteran who had to take 12 different pills to not commit suicide, or like 12 different pills for their PTSD. It made them obese, suicidal. You know what I mean?
Nerve damage, you know? I like that.
Yeah.
Ronnie.
Just ask the people.
That was awesome. Definitely.
But I agree with you. And like, I know that the guy who discovered the THC molecule, who recently passed away, was like that Israeli doctor.
Yes, that's so sad.
He said that like humanity wasn't ready or doesn't deserve, you know, what the plant has to offer. To your point, like, we don't really know yet, like, all the things it can potentially unlock. right?
I feel
That's
like
what it
it's
sounds
so
like.
much it can unlock. Even just seeing us, how we consume it, listening to you, the way you consume it, the way I consume it, it's helped me a lot through my childhood. You know, I've graduated high school, I went to college, so it's not like it slowed me down from any of these things. I was still successful. I was able to go work, do everything I did off of cannabis. Everybody's not the same, that's for sure. My tolerance level is different. I've been smoking since I was 12, so people got to understand that, you know. But it's been a beautiful journey and how it's helped me, you know what I'm saying, and seeing how it helps you productively as well, with your craft and what you're doing. And it's a beautiful thing. Let's just hope it just keeps flourishing from here and growing. And yeah, and yeah, that's that.
Yeah, definitely changed a lot of people's lives for the better.
Yeah, from the trappers to people even, in the medical world, but it's not medicinal, like it's not medically legal yet to the point where children could use it for medical research, but I feel like it's gonna get there. Hopefully they sign this bill within the next upcoming year and we'll see where it could take it. And maybe the doctor was right. Maybe it has so many components and it can help us in so many different ways that, we don't know
I
until
think
the
so.
research happens.
Yeah, there's like so many different cannabinoids and like parts of it. So yeah.
Right. All right, so we got most of the info on you on Honeysuckle, how you got started. So normally I always run a trivia question with all my guests, and I also have some, alongside of the trivia, I have also some movie questions. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? So you watch stoner movies, right?
Yeah. I mean, not like, it's not my first genre. I'm a horror film fan.
Okay. So you watch How High
Which one was that?
with Red MF?
Yeah.
Okay. So my questions pertain from all stoner movies.
Oh no.
All right, Harold and Kumar,
Okay.
and How High Too, maybe, a couple of stuff. So I do this to everybody. So we always end it. We have fun on the podcast, and I like to see where you at with the stoner movies
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I'm gonna fail.
All right, so my first question I have, which I've been asking a couple of people since we high, my first question for you would be, do you think we've ever landed on the moon
In real, like,
in real life, real time?
I do.
You think so?
Well, you don't? You think they lied to us? People, they act stupid enough. You know what I mean? That we probably like, if we can't figure our way out of like plastics, how do they get to the moon?
Or why haven't we been back? That's a great question with the technology we have, right? We haven't been back to the moon yet.
They haven't?
I mean, not human. Have we seen a human jump on the moon ever since?
I don't know, actually. Sam, have they gone to the moon since the first trip?
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, I don't know. I don't know exactly. They,
What's your answer? Yes?
I think they have. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, I respect that. I ask this to everybody. Some people say no.
Yeah.
Why haven't we got more footage? A whole bunch of stuff. But I like to ask this to hear people's different point of view of the moon and have we landed there. So it's cool to see people, we get into a little science. But I jump into the trivias now. So in the movie, right? In the movie How High, right? Red and Meth had a friend who passed away, and they named the bud after their friend. What was the name of their friend in How High?
I don't know.
You don't.
I don't remember.
You got 10 seconds to think about it. You could guess.
God. Okay. And like, okay, what did they name
You could get help from Sam.
what did they name the bud in How High, Red and Method Man? What did they name the bud of the friend who died? Ooh, and he's a cinephile, so now I don't feel so bad. Do you know the answer?
Do you got it? Do you think I'm giving a guess in the audience? Do you know?
She doesn't know it either. You're the
Ivory. Ivory was the name of the bud that Red and Meth named in the movie. He passed away. He jumped out of a window because his hair caught on fire. He was smoking a J, and his J fell on his dreadlocks, and his dreadlocks went on fire. And he jumped out the window, and they decided to name it Ivory.
Shout out Red Man. Method Man. We have interviewed him, but we didn't talk about Ivory.
All right, cool. In the movie Harold and Kumar, have you seen that?
Yeah, it's been a long time though.
All right. In the movie Harold and Kumar, they wound up getting high and stranded in the woods and encountering an animal and riding it through the woods. What animal was that?
A wild hog, a wild boar, a coyote.
All right, so I'm gonna let Sam help you. In the movie How High?
No, Harold.
I'm sorry, Harold and Kumar. When they got high and stranded in the woods.
What did you say? Cheetah.
You got it. All right.
We don't have cheetahs in the woods.
It's a high movie.
Okay.
All right, cool. Another question I got for you, right? In the movie Harold and Kumar, another one, right? What was the name of the girlfriend Harold was obsessed with? What was her name? You can help her.
Stephanie.
Uh-oh, she guessed wrong. I'm going to give you a chance to help her out. Harold was in love with the girl in the elevator. What was her name? Harold. He was in love with the girl he used to see in the elevator. And he wound up going to Paris to find her. What was her name?
What is Melissa? Bovita?
It starts with that. You can get help from the audience. Anybody in the audience?
Maria?
Oh, wait. Oh, you're right. You're right. You got it. Shouts to people in the audience. Got it helped out. All right. So you 1 for 1 right now.
No, we got 2 because he got the cheetah right.
Okay. Oh, I'm
2
sorry.
for 3.
2. Okay. So you 2 for 3. All right. One more. I got 2 more for you. Which Olympic athlete was caught holding a bomb?
Michael, what'd you say? Go team.
Go team.
Yeah.
All right. So far.
I was going to say Ricky Williams.
3 out of 4. You guys are doing good. All right. Okay. So one more question I got for you. In the movie. Damn, I don't want to give you this one because you didn't get the first one. Let me see if I give you. You're 3 out. You 3 out of 4. So you're doing good.
Using the kid gloves on.
In the movie Pineapple Express, what was Seth's name? Anybody?
Oh man, Nick? I don't know. Oh no. I was gonna say like Umar, but that doesn't make any sense.
All right, I'm gonna give you one more.
Okay. What was it?
Oh my God. I'm asking the question. I forget the. Hold on. I gotta give myself that right there. All right. Okay, we go back to Harold and Kumar. Right. In the movie, actually, Cheech and Chong. Have you seen Cheech and Chong? All right, cool. All right. In the movie Cheech and Chong, right? In the car, what did he discuss was mixed in the weed that they were smoking? He said he had a lavender dog, right? What was in the mix of that weed they were smoking?
Jalapenos.
Sam, you want to help out with that one? In the movie Cheech and Chong, right? Huh? There you go. My guy got it. Oh, what? I got to get my presets right. Sam got it. It was his dog shit because he had to get it out of his dog shit. So he called it lavender. Lavender pool. So it was funny. But you guys did good. Ronit, it was a pleasure having you here. I appreciate you guys, you, Sam, the whole team, putting together Honeysuckle. You know, it was a blessing. You guys coming here and sharing your thoughts about the cannabis industry and giving the world the views on how you got started, you know what I'm saying, what it took you to get there and where you're going with it, you know. So big shout outs to you and the whole Honeysuckle team. I appreciate you coming through and showing love to the Wake and Bake Show. You did really good on the trivia questions. You got 3 out of 5, so you guys did good. I give y'all that. Big shout outs to Honeysuckle Magazine. and the whole team, and I appreciate you. Any shout outs you want to give to the world before we finish?
Wow. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having us. I appreciate you and got such a great personality, both of you.
Thank you.
Congrats on the sponsorship.
Thank you. Shout outs to Empire Club NYC.
Yeah, shout out to Empire. Just to the team, you know, Sam, Jamie's our editor at large.
Big shout outs to Jamie.
Do you know her?
I've seen her. I
Yeah.
follow her too as well.
She's been instrumental. Like when no one else was there, she was there, definitely. So big shout out to Jamie Lubin and pretty much, you know, New York being supportive and all of us riding it together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ronit. I appreciate you coming through and the whole team. It's your boy Fax. We here on the Wake and Bake Show signing out. Big shout outs to the Honeysuckle team coming through. Honeysuckle Magazine. Always love. Appreciate y'all. Big shout outs to Empire Club NYC, the sponsors. My boy Malice Child behind the cam. Sue, I appreciate you in the audience. I love you guys all. Thank you for coming through and showing love. Oh, wrong preset. I'm wilding out. Shouts to everybody, man. We out of here. This is real.
Oh.